I love Stork spreads for my cake, but after my recent greasy bottomed cakes caused me to adapt an original recipe, I decided to try a rival brand which is very popular with fellow bakers. From a glance, both are similar with similar ingredient composition, except Stork has since discontinued the use of buttermilk in their recipe, but Flora, the rival brand, maintains buttermilk in their recipe, which is one up over Stork. There may be various reasons for this change, but from what I find, the competition between Flora and Stork is a fierce one. So I decided to take a look at what I could find with the use of Flora and was quite surprised by my discovery. I am very excited to share this with you, but first, let's bake with some Flora. I chose the same recipe and ingredients as my original vanilla cake recipe in the hope of avoiding a greasy bottomed cake. The original recipe and adapted versions are linked in the description below for you with full ingredient lists and quantities for this bake. There's also extra notes and information just to help you, so please do check that out. Now in a stand mixer, I add Flora spread and caster sugar together and set to cream. For this mixer, my recommended creaming time is 67 minutes at a medium-high speed of 3.5. This may, however, vary from mixer to mixer, so do check yours out and note the preferred creaming speed. This will assist with maintaining consistency of your batter and will aid a quick way to troubleshoot when problems arise. A splash of vanilla in the mix for flavor. The sugar and Flora mix is left to cream until pale white. Occasionally the side of the bowl is scraped to ensure a uniform mix. If you're unsure of what a well-creamed mixture looks like, especially with the use of different tools and equipment, first observe the creamed mixture is pale and white, but to stop overbeating, run a flat-edged spatula in the mix and scoop some of the mixture with the spatula. Shake the spatula gently and observe the mixture slide easily off the spatula. The mixture should present light and airy with the spatula steering through it very easily. Spatula test done, the mix is set back on the mixer, ready for the eggs to be added. I add in the eggs slowly, allowing time for each mix. This will allow the eggs to break, mixing easily into the emulsion of the fat and sugar creamed mix. Eggs bind in bacon and helps with the structure of the cake, allowing time to observe the small tasks of accurate timing, changing mixer speeds, and slowly adding in ingredients will ultimately support a better outcome for your cake. Eggs added, it's time to add the flour. As always, I prefer to use self-raising flour, which comes pre-mixed with baking powder. I have added a bit of salt here for taste and sifted the flour before use. You can, however, make your own self-raising flour by adding baking powder to plain flour. But for better results, please consider a recipe that uses plain flour and baking soda or baking powder. Adding the flour is alternated with milk, which is an addition for moisture. Milk can be replaced with yogurt, buttermilk, or sour cream. Milk done and the rest of the flour added, the batter is left to fold for about 40 seconds before being completed by hand. I scrape the sides of the bowl for a uniform mix and split the batter into two 7-inch tins. I stamp the tins on the work surface before setting to bake for 170 degrees for an hour to an hour 15 minutes. The cakes are baked now, and at a glance I observe a flat-topped, no-domed, evenly baked cakes. Emptying the cakes from the pans reveal a delicate and softly textured crust. The cakes are then wrapped to cool quickly, and on return, here are my thoughts. For the results here, I maintained the original Stork cake recipe with no changes except an increase in the portions of the quantity of ingredients. The original recipe fills 5-inch tins, but the same recipe and a half was used for two 7-inch cakes baking at 4-inch deep. Yet I had no greasy bottoms. The cakes had a lightly and tightly textured crumb with a melt in the mouth feel. I had to adapt the same original recipe, swapping granulated sugar for caster sugar and reducing the fat by 25 grams just to get similar results as this one. But even better, this recipe baked 4-inch deep, an inch higher than the adapted recipe. So, what's my verdict? Should I switch or not switch? My answer is maybe for an easier baking life without the trouble of recipe testing, I could consider switching. but at £3.80 per 1 kilogram tub of Flora at my local Tesco, I might as well put my prices up. But I'd love to give my customers some value. I also actually enjoy testing and troubleshooting my recipes, so switching may not be an obvious choice just yet. But for you as a beginner baker, the choice is neither here nor there. I suggest you stick with what your preferred results, but will encourage you to gain some basic understanding of a particular recipe, which will come in handy when trouble arises. After all, baking is a science, and some reasonable experiment is welcome. I am sticking with Stork for now though, only because I have adapted my recipes to Stork, which I share some with you right here. But even better, I get an offer on Stork at my local Tesco. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.